Hey, welcome back to Coffee and Candor. I'm Chris.
Amber.
Brandy.
And Ross.
And we are continuing our discussion on the West Memphis 3. So, Brandy?
Okay. So...
Yeah, good luck remembering what you were talking about.
Yeah. I can't remember what I was doing.
You were talking about...
No justice for the kids.
Yeah, you were talking about how the kids had no justice because these three obviously didn't do it. These three being Damien Eccles, Jesse Miss Kelly, and...
Jason Baldwin. They didn't
almost
do
said
it.
Alec Baldwin. Jason Baldwin. But so the perpetrator or perpetrators is still walking around, laughing their asses off. And
nobody's ever paid for these kids. The parents have never seen
probably.
any justice. It's like their boys have been forgotten. It's just sad and it's unfortunate. And I think it's all because they went into this. The prosecutors and the police here went into this with a preconceived notion, and everything that didn't fit that preconceived notion, whether it was factual or not, we're just not going to look at that. And so much injustice has come from that, and it's just. You know
what bothers me because, and I didn't know about this. I still don't. I don't know why it doesn't strike a nerve with me the way it does with you guys. It just, I don't know. Probably because I'm just a cold person. I don't know. But anyway, there are a lot of celebrities, a lot of high-powered people that were advocating on their behalf, right?
Eddie Vedder,
Johnny Depp. There was a whole lot of them.
It took a long time. They had already served a lot of time before
that
really
happened.
Got that attention.
And the only reason that happened is because HBO did the documentaries about them, and then they got so many people saw the just malfeasance.
And people just started, whoa, wait a minute.
How could this happen? And they were horrified.
But what bothers me is because I know that
Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks, she's one of them.
They had on appeals and subsequent appeals. They weren't using a public defender. They were using a real deal defense attorney.
Yes, they were. But
only
by that
after
time,
the point
it had been so borked.
Okay, fine. But at some point, they were using legitimate defense attorneys.
Yes, they were.
Once outsiders got involved and there was money for those things, yes. But that came a long time after.
But what I don't understand and what just burns my ass is that once they were using real deal defense attorneys. They still got raw deals, and part of it is because that fucking judge.
Oh yes,
and
judge.
What is his name? Because we're going to call him out.
God.
Oh Lord,
because he's a piece of shit.
Hold on.
Well, and he's still tied in politics.
Well, he can still suck a bag of dicks.
I mean, no, that's what you kept talking about having a good defense attorney, etc.
Judge David Burnett.
David Burnett, you are a bad man.
He's a horrible person.
He on the and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but on the appeals, he would get, even after he had left his judgeship, would get himself appointed as a special judge. Because he was already familiar with the case.
Because he
built his entire career on that case, and he had a vested interest in it never being overturned.
Yeah.
And the thing is, number one, the whole purpose of an appeal is to get a different fucking judge. Right. A different judge and a different jury. And get fresh eyes and fresh ears to hear the evidence.
Yeah.
And it just over and over and over again, I cannot believe that nobody called bullshit on that.
At every point, they would come up with some kind of new evidence, and Judge David Burnett would hear their motion or whatever, and be like, no, that's not new evidence.
No, if I was the defense attorney, I'd have been like, we're requesting a new judge, or we're requesting a change of venue,
and they were denied.
No.
Yes, they were.
You can't request a new judge and that judge deny it. That's not how that goes.
That's how it went.
They could have gone to the state Supreme Court if that's the case.
Well, that's how it went. I mean, I don't know I don't know why. I don't know how.
That's wrong.
I don't know if
legally that is not.
I get that. A lot of stuff was wrong. I mean, but I don't know if he had another buddy.
No, I wouldn't doubt it.
Can you can you cover me on this? Whatever.
Well,
it was horrible.
Careers were built on. It was such a big case that careers were built on this case, and if we go back and we say everything was wrong, well, then careers can get unbuilt real quick.
See, but that's the thing. I don't see how. Okay, if
it's the good old boy system. It's cronyism.
Let's say that I am a state Supreme Court judge.
Okay.
Right? Or justice or whatever they're called. And one of the rulings that I made gets overturned. Guess what? I'm still on the Supreme Court. no one's going to think twice about it. Oh my God, Justice Stevens, nobody fucking cares. You know who cares? The kids that were on fucking death row that got sentenced in a kangaroo court. You know, these kids, he was trying to make his career off of 3 kids' lives.
Well,
6,
as
I guess.
many times as things were brought up and overturned and overruled and everything else. I mean, you know, for a little bit you think, okay, maybe this was just a, you know, he was uneducated, he was this, he was that. But at a certain point, when it just keeps happening, and like you said, when he's not even a judge anymore, but he gets himself appointed a special judge to hear these appeal hearings.
I can't imagine that's
you have to think that is not just a coincidence. That's not a mistake. That is, I mean,
I can't imagine that's not a conflict of interest or an ethical violation.
Exactly.
You know,
and I mean that is a concerted
of
effort to keep the result the way it was the first time.
Well, and he's still, in 2012, he did a big interview with the Arkansas Times, and he was like...
Who, the judge?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I regret nothing. I did everything right.
That's been proven to be a lie.
This was when he was running to be a senator.
Yeah,
or
and he
something.
said, I did everything right. I don't feel like I have anything that I regret. He said that he still believes, and this was after they were released, he still believes that they're guilty, that we let guilty men go, and that...
No, he tried to kill 3 all right, 2 of them weren't sentenced to death, but Eccles was sentenced to die, and he was just trying to build his career off the lives of those 3 kids that got, like I said, got wrongfully convicted with horrid evidence. I mean, those legal practices are bullshit and would not hold up in any real court.
No.
You know, and I don't know how they picked the jury, but I know it wasn't a jury of their peers.
Well, you know...
You know, you're not going to ever convince me that jury wasn't stacked with 50-year-olds that were scared to death of the Great Satanic Panic.
Oh, yeah.
And they saw Damien Eccles
walking
in there.
The media flamed that whole.
Oh yeah,
satanic,
and they saw Damien
angle.
Eccles walking in there with his "I'm smarter than you" look.
He probably was.
Well, maybe.
He was smarter than him.
Maybe, but that didn't fucking help him. And
No, it didn't. But at the same time, you're 18, 19 years old, and you know damn well you didn't have anything to do with
I'd have been
this.
that kid being a smart ass.
I would have too.
I'd have been like, you ain't got shit on me.
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you, and you ain't got shit on me, because I knew I didn't do it. I would have totally fallen into that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
Well, like I think I've said this before.
I think at some point after this dragged on forever, I think I would have gotten a clue.
Yeah.
But I can easily see that.
How it happened.
I think that he probably deserved to spend a couple months in jail just for being an arrogant dickhead in court. But
if that were,
then we'd all be in jail.
Too.
Yeah, but certainly not.
Lock me up today.
Well, certainly not on death row.
No.
And
and I just like what it would feel like to think that everybody thinks you're capable of such awfulness.
Well, and what kills me is it's never going to change. I see
people all the time when stuff comes up. Oh my God, those motherfuckers are guilty. I don't know how you can
Yeah, but here's my point. As far as the state of Arkansas is concerned, they serve time. The people they think are responsible. They have no intention of investigating, and they have
they've said so. The state has said this case is closed.
So for the people who don't know, in what was it, 2015?
No, it was 2010.
Where they've
been out a while now.
Yeah,
shit, was it really that long ago?
It was.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Because I was still with the Claims Commission.
Okay, so in 2010, and I don't know how
what they were doing is they were trying to get. Well, they were trying to get the new DNA evidence they had admitted to have an appeal.
But had they expired all their appeals?
No, they hadn't, because they had new evidence that wasn't available at the time,
right?
Because of the DNA testing somehow. Well, the previous one, like a year or so before, was the one that Judge Burnett had himself appointed.
That's such a shady
special judge or whatever. So now they were trying
I don't ever have to go to court. He's going to hear this and hear my case.
So now they were trying to get another appeal, and I think it went to the Supreme Court. And so the Supreme Court got to view the DNA evidence. And at that point, I think everybody concerned on the government side of things went, oh shit, this is going to be a problem.
Offer them something.
And so it came about with negotiations with their lawyers and with the government, prosecutor, and everything else that the three boys would offer an offered plea, which allowed them to be set free.
So for
the state didn't have to say they were innocent, and the boys don't have to say they were guilty.
Well,
so it was just like basically it was kind of like time served and you can go.
But the offered plea, though, I mean, if you're making a plea bargain, that implies guilt.
Sure.
Even though, and I watched Damien Eccles, and I don't think I saw the other two, but I did watch his, and he expressed his innocence a couple of times before he actually entered his plea. But he had either expired or was on his last appeal.
He was on his last appeal.
He was.
And I think it's really interesting. Several times Jason was offered, if you turn on Damien and say he did it, we'll let you go.
We'll let you go.
And I think that speaks to his character and the fact
that he wouldn't take it.
He wouldn't take it. He said, no, I will not.
And actually, he initially
didn't want to take the offered
plea.
Yeah.
But Damien was in horrible health because of the time he'd spent in that
probably malnutrition, all kinds of vitamin.
And so ultimately, Jason agreed to it
because he was afraid. He was afraid that
he was
Damien wouldn't
die
survive
in prison, or they were going to kill him.
As a matter of fact, we watched that over at your house.
Yeah.
I remember. But I think they offered him that because if he would have, the state being they, because if he would have gone on that last appeal, he would have been found not guilty, and they would have owed him a fuck ton of money.
That's basically this offered plea negates any recourse that they have.
It was a way for
them
to save face.
Yeah.
That is so shitty. Oh my god.
Money.
Yeah, a ton of money.
Yep.
He could. Well, no. Apparently, he can't.
No, he
sue the
couldn't.
state
But
because that really needs to be changed. That constitutional immunity.
I agree.
Such a
I've seen it up close and personal, and it's a lot of people are harmed and don't have any recourse.
And here's the deal: like I said, because the offered plea, the state has no intention of investigating this case anymore.
Well, they don't believe that there's anything to investigate.
But guess what? The DNA evidence that they were trying to get the new trial on,
right?
Guess who it points to? One of the stepdads, right? not Byers, Terry Hobbs,
who had a history of violence and has
attacked the mother's brother.
Shot him. He eventually died of it.
Yeah, from complications of it.
Really?
I mean, the DNA evidence specifically pointed to him. But we're not going to investigate anymore because we caught who we wanted. They served time and we let them go.
No, because if they investigate it, then they have to admit that they were wrong the first time.
Exactly.
And the second time.
And we don't want to do that.
And the third time, and however many fucking appeals they had.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, this case, wow. It's a good thing that all of these different personalities and stars gotten involved,
or they'd still be sitting there.
Because they would still be sitting there, or Damien would
be dead.
Yes. Because had they already set a date?
I don't think he had an execution date.
He had one more appeal left.
But yeah, I mean,
but like
possibly
I said,
from his health, he would have died anyway.
Before the Alford plea, that was the one that the judge had gotten himself. It's like, hell, you're not going to get anywhere. And that was DNA evidence they were trying to present when he denied it.
See that the first time that the judge had himself appointed, or he was the same one that was here in the appeal. Man, if I was a defense attorney, I'd have been like, we're requesting a new judge. It's denied. Okay, I'm filing for a change of venue.
No.
It's denied. I'm driving to Little Rock to talk to the Supreme Court right the fuck now.
That's literally what Judge Barnett did in every situation throughout this whole entire case.
Man, I'm telling you,
that's literally what he did, and I don't know why or how he was allowed. Well, I mean, when you're not even a judge anymore, and you get yourself a point of wow.
Man, I'm telling you because I can be a pretty pretty big asshole.
Yeah.
And if some asshole's trying to out asshole me,
Yeah.
I've tried. It's hard.
But again, like we've said,
you know,
these were